The is the way to the Katskhi column, a nature lime monolithic how towers more than rather than 130 feet, or 40 meters, in the air, and on top of that stands which is perhaps the planet's largest in isolation, and largest holy, churches. Positioned about 200 kilometers, on 125 miles, western of Georgia's equity town Tbilisi, the wonderful milestone is well hard to achieve. Down there are no trains in the portion of the area, so the just way to get down there is by car or coach, but it's cost the journey. The definitive attitude is made on leg, a 20-min walk for that the monolithic appears abruptly on the skyline of the bright Georgian scenery. It's a magic expertise how just intensifies as you paint nearer to the column by itself. A cliff climb up several part-finished stairs is a mark how visitors are nearly down there. At the basis of the column, a convent and a little oratory go in type on the order hand party. To the leftward stands the 130-leg-high lime kernel in all its fascinating fame. The Katskhi facility is distinctive. At the kernel is a chapel constructed in the 6th to 8th centuries devoted to Maximus the spiritual father, a 7th-age Georgian friar. Down there's as well a funeral camera, a vine basement, a veil side and 3 recluse cells. Every date, monks residing under do the nervous system jangling 20-min climb via a slim metal stairway bolted to the party of the fate. The everyday Hajj to say prayers at the top is told to give them nearer to deity. Before 2015, they'd as well face Dad Maxim Kaftaradze, who consumable largest of his period down there for 20 year and was the recent friar to dwell on Upper. Kaftaradze constructed a new chapel on the fate in 1995. Under the kernel, or fate stands the again-built chapel of Simeon Stylites, the convent, and the rubble of an old side and bell tower. Present, the column is yet famous for creature, one of the largest holy landmarks on land. Regional monks are now the just human beings on the earth who are permitted to get the 20-min climb up the steel stairway on the party of the kernel to the really upper. Ascent of the convent installed under to the chapel over is a everyday Hajj they trust is the top way to propose by themselves to deity. Just men of a sectarian procedure are now permitted to climb up the stairs to the sky. Female include not been permitted to scope the kernel at any spot in story. This patriarch-gone procedure indicating how just the monks can come the chapel at the top of the column. Before he overturns how procedure, we are not permitted to let any visitors upwards, Ilarion says. Although they are now amongst those prohibited of the upper, residents are pride of their regional milestone, revered the planet above as a column of lifetime and a character of the real crucifix. The column by itself remained unclimbed by nobody of external Katskhi before 1944, while a mission led by Georgian climber Alexander Japaraj and author Levan Gochua led to the top for a more than inclusive research. At how period the buildings on top of the column were mined to include been built in the 5th to 6th centuries, but how estimation was after fixed to the 9th and 10th centuries by the Georgian Domestic Museum. Down there are lot incorrect histories circulatory on the column, so it's essential how human beings listen the proper history, Ilarion says. This at first monks began residing in the chapel in the 10th and 11th centuries, and they lived up on top of the column. Down there are no monks residing up down there present, we just go up to prayer later back to the convent under, he adds. Though ascent to the top of the column is now prohibited, down there's yet lot to see during the Katskhi facility. The convent house and the nearby facility was recovered by a country-funded program in 2009 and planned go on present to enable visitors an expertise shut to which existed more than rather than 1,000 year back. A new guest center is as well in the plant, on in a little gift store. It's yet probable to climb up to the columns at first standard, that holds a pray region and a 6th-age crucifix noted in the lime, one of the examples of believer symbology in life present. Down there's as well area to lighting a candlelight and prayer in an fence cut in the rock. This website was at first acknowledged as believer in the 6th age while the basis of the column was noted in a crucifix, Ilarion says. This chapel was added after or, in spite its year, the facility is completely operative present. The Chapel of Simeon still lights, a little unusual oratory decorated in ornamental art and sectarian artifacts, stands at land standard. The peaceful and peace house is outdoor for visitors to prayer. Within is a gallery of amazing mural pictorial, in a diminutive sacrificial altar and pray area in chamber to lighting a candlelight. On outgoing the oratory, visitors get an dread-inspiring prospect of the magnificent Georgian rural area in the column installed to the order. As well apparent in the range, via a valve to the order of the oratory, is the convent by itself. The house creature away limits to the social, but Ilarion and some monks joyfully go about the facility speaking to visitors and transmitting their wise to all who hear. Contagious a bus of Tbilisi's Didube bus plant to Chiatura conducted among 3 and 3.5 several hours. Though down there are no formal websites for the domestic buses or marshrutkas in Georgia, buses tend to run each time among 7 am to 9 p.m. every date. One day in Chiatura, a regional taxis driving immediately to the Katskhi column. Buses run per hour of Batumi to Kutaisi of 7 am, and the travel conducted fare above 2 several hours. One day in Kutaisi, passengers can get else bus for a 8-hour trip to Chiatura. Drivers will halt immediately external the entry to the column facility and path.